Hey guys, Uncle Wayno here. A bit of a different video today. It's just going to be me talking, unfortunately. There's two reasons I'm making this video. One, I've been through a lot of shit in the last 15 years with my health, 15, 20 years really. And I have really come through it in the end, and it might even just sort of help a few people. So I thought I would throw it out there. But the other reason is I've been making these videos for the past couple of months, and I don't feel like I've been lying or hiding anything, but I am a completely open book. I'm a what you see is what you get kind of guy. And it just feels weird not putting it out there, really. There's been times in my videos where I've gone to mention something and then I don't because people don't know about that. So I just want to put it out there because I really want this channel to just be real. That's the only rule I had when I started it, was I was just going to be me and nothing else. So the story is I've been on the disability pension since 2006 for chronic fatigue in the end. I've had that many tests done from specialists. I've seen that many different doctors, and they could never figure out. Every test I ever had done always came back with perfect results. So in the end, they just told me I had chronic fatigue. I think chronic fatigue, I never really looked into it heaps in the end because I was just over it by then. So don't quote me on this, but I think chronic fatigue, there's not really any way you can test for it. And that to get diagnosed with chronic fatigue, they pretty much test you for everything else and cancel all those out, and then they just say you've got chronic fatigue. And a couple of little things about chronic fatigue: it actually sounds like a not too bad of a disease to have. You're just tired and sleep all the time, and it's amazing how many people I've had say to me over the time, "Oh, half your luck," when they find out I just stay home all day lying on the couch. But in reality, it is not fun at all. You never ever feel like you've slept. You basically feel like you have the flu every single day. It is horrible. It does not matter how much you sleep, you still feel like shit. And it also comes with pain, quite a bit of muscle pain and joint pain, which I'm not sure, to be honest, but it probably comes with not being active at all. And then there's other side effects where you just end up putting on heaps of weight and stuff because you can't do anything. But anyway, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue only a few years ago. At the end of being tested for everything under the bloody sun. At one point, for 2 years, I thought I had ankylosing spondylitis. I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis for 2 years, and then I had a different doctor, and he ran some different tests, and he said, you don't have ankylosing spondylitis, which is pretty good because that's a very horrible disease. If you don't know what it is, Mick Mars from Motley Crue, the guitarist from Motley Crue, he has it, and he actually looks like he's dead, but he's still alive. Ankylosing spondylitis is, it's like the layman way of explaining it is sort of bones grow over your bones. Really horrible and painful sort of thing. And I'm glad in the end that I didn't have it. I got diagnosed with chronic fatigue in the end. Anyway, so how I discovered to get better, pretty much. There is no cure for chronic fatigue. In the end, to be honest, I don't think I had chronic fatigue. I pretty much know I didn't. You could say I did have it, but it was caused by something else. How I discovered that I was going to get better from it was through dieting, which is not even actually how I got better from it. This is hilarious. This video is just going to be all over the place. So what happened was I was with my partner. We were together for 14 years. I'm not going to talk about her at all because whilst I am an open book, other people aren't. So I don't want to put information out about other people that don't want to be talked about. So that's fair enough. But we were together for 14 years. We broke up. And I thought my world was going to end. I was that sick, it wasn't funny. And now I had no one next to me. So I didn't eat for 3 days after we broke up. And then I was so miserable that I just started eating plates of vegetables because I didn't want to indulge. It was a really weird thing, something I would never normally do. Just ate plates of vegetables every day, like twice a day, and that's all I ate. And then all of a sudden, it only took 5, 6, 7 days. I started to feel better. And it was really weird. Like, I had asked several doctors and specialists over the years if my diet would make a difference, and they all said no. No, won't make a difference at all. And, I would try to elaborate, and they would just cut me off and say, no, it won't make a difference. Which is really weird. It's kind of annoying. Some of those doctors I consider to be really good doctors, and a couple of them ended up becoming friends because I saw them for so long. So I don't really blame them. It's just what they've learnt while they were doing their schooling and over the years of doctoring and stuff. So I don't blame them at all. But I did start to get better, so I stuck with it, and I actually got a bit happier, and I started being able to walk the dog again, and just a few things like that, nothing major. And then I had to move. This is so dumb. This part of the story is so dumb. You're going to think I'm an idiot. I moved house, and I had to do the end of house clean myself. It was massive. It took me 3 days to do it. And I actually moved out of town, so I had nowhere to make my food or whatever. I spent 3 days in this bloody empty house cleaning it. And so what did I do? I started going back to just getting takeaway for all those meals. The first one, I remember the first one I had after eating just vegetables and meat for 6 weeks. The first burger I had from Macca's was disgusting. It was absolutely foul, and I don't even think I finished it. But then I would just get so hungry, I'd go and grab some takeaway, quickly go back to clean, and I just wanted to get it done. When I did finally get that done, I was back in my new house, but I had no fridge for a few weeks. It took me a while to get a fridge. I had no money and stuff like that. And I was out of town, so I couldn't really just go down to Safeway and buy some fresh food, and Safeway, how old am I? I couldn't just go down to Safeway and buy some fresh food, come home and cook it. So I just ended up eating shitty foods again. And I just got right back into the habit that I was in before. It took a fair while for me to actually start to feel shit again. Like, I was actually able to eat the shitty food for quite a while before it started to kick back in. What would happen is I would get stuck into this loop where every meal I had was just full of sugar, and it gave me a boost. For about half an hour, it gave me a boost, and I was able to get a couple of things done, and then I'd crash hard again, and I would just feel like absolute shit. So I was basically like a junkie. Exactly like a junkie. I've spoken to drug addicts about how I felt during the time, and they all have the exact same reaction. It's just like a junkie. So yeah, I pretty much just ended up back in that same loop. Every meal that comes around, I would eat a terrible meal full of sugar to get a bit of a boost. Every single time I would think to myself, I'm going to have veggies for my next meal. 5 hours later, 6 hours later, when the next meal come around and I was feeling like absolute shit, there's no way I was cooking. You just don't have the energy. A friend of mine said to me once, wouldn't it be easier to just cook your food than actually hop in your car and drive down through and get takeaway? And I just said, no, it is not. Even standing up for like 10 minutes was just so exhausting. It was a lot easier to just sit in your car and go through the drive-through. And then just go straight, and I would eat my food in the car and then just go straight back to the couch. So yeah, sugar is actually a really serious addiction. Some people will just think this is stupid. There's a lot of really healthy people out there that just think, you're just an idiot. But it really is a pretty serious addiction. I'm still addicted to it like crazy. It's just not funny. That is another purpose for putting this video out there. I really want to talk about it more to try and help myself get off it pretty much. So yeah, I got back into this loop, and the past few years I just got sicker and sicker and sicker again. And it all came to a head last year, and I was cooked. I was completely cooked. I've told a few people I feel like my body was running at about 5%, and that's no exaggeration. I just couldn't do anything. I was sleeping about 20 out of every 24 hours. It was just nuts. And even those 4 or 5 hours that I was awake, I was just lying on the couch. I wouldn't even put the TV on. I'd just lie there. It was horrible. And then, just sort of as a, I probably would have found out eventually, but as a chance encounter, I was talking to a good mate of mine on the phone, and I was just telling him I'm just absolutely cooked. I can't do anything, blah blah blah. And he said, "Look, I got this sleep test done a few months ago, and I've just got this sleep apnea machine." And you should probably go and get it. We've been camping together before, and we both snore like absolute troopers. I probably snore louder than anyone you have ever met in your life. I've had a friend of mine came to my house. My bedroom is right down the other end of the house. My bedroom door was closed. He walked up to the back door and could hear me snoring without opening the back door. Just crazy. So my mate said to me, I got this test done, blah, 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 you should check it out. So I did. I rang the doctor, actually rang the doctor straight away after I off the phone, because I was at my wit's end. Like, I was done and dusted. It took me about 2 or 3 weeks to get the test done, and then it took 2 weeks to get the results back. And I had my appointment with the specialist on Zoom, and he said to me, you have one of the most severe cases of sleep apnea we have ever seen. And I just had a big smile on my face. Oh, you could not get the smile off my face. It sounds like something that is really horrible to hear or whatever, but after 15 years of having all these tests done and every single one coming back with no results, just all perfect, to finally get something said to you that is wrong with you, it doesn't even matter what it is, really. You're just happy. You're happy to finally get an end result. And I was so happy when he said that, because it really justified everything I'd gone through. I mean, if you have any kind of autoimmune disease or chronic fatigue or anything like that, you will know that one of the worst things about it is people just don't believe you. They just think you're lazy, especially if you're overweight. They just think you're fat and lazy. And the amount of people, friends, close friends, the amount of friends that have said to me over time, no, you just need to go for a walk. Yeah, okay, thanks. Didn't think about that. So yeah, it is one of the worst things about it. And to finally be told what is actually wrong with you it made me so happy. Also, because I knew that there was an easy fix for it. It just made me so happy. I was so excited. So the specialist said I had 130 apneas per hour, and apnea is each time you stop breathing while you're asleep. So I was not breathing 130 times per hour. He actually said more than 130, but 130 times per hour at an average of 15 seconds each time. So more than half the time I was asleep, I was not breathing. So if I was asleep for 8 hours, I was not breathing for about 4.5 of that. So yeah, it was so good to hear it all. It really justified everything I've been going through. Because you do start to question yourself as well. Like, you just feel shit for so long. You actually forget what it feels like to just be normal, to feel normal. And you do start to question yourself, because you do have so many people that just don't believe you. They just think you're lazy or whatever, and you really do start to question yourself. So when he was telling me all this stuff, I was so happy. I couldn't get the smile off my face. Plus I knew there was this fix that was available for it, which just made me so happy. But yeah, it is, you get the machine and it is pretty much an instant fix. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. You just go from feeling like you just want the world to end, like you literally can't barely walk, to just bouncing around, doing whatever you want. It is great. I mean, it's not that simple. I've had a lot of trouble with my machine and my mask. The masks cost $300. So when you're renting one, you're also renting a mask. But you're actually renting an older mask that has been used, so it's got a bit of wearing and stuff. And then when I bought one, I got a brand new mask, and just things just didn't line up properly and stuff. And I'm still having trouble with it today. But even when it doesn't work properly, I feel way better than I used to, and I can still get some stuff done. I have that odd day here and there where the mask just bloody comes off my face or whatever in the middle of the night, and I just feel shit house and I lie on the couch all day. So those days are pretty annoying, but for the most part, it works really good. This is a big reason why I need to lose weight. This is the main cause of the sleep apnea. It's diet. Like, I figured this out 4 years ago, and I completely stuffed it up by going back into the junk food realm. Um, so I know that if I lose weight, my sleep apnea won't be as bad. And then when I wear the mask, it'll actually work better, because what's happening at the moment is the machine is pumping out that much pressure that the mask is actually blowing off my face a little bit. It's the pressure of the air is actually blowing the mask off my face a little bit, and the air leaks out, and then obviously it doesn't work as well. So I think it's just because my sleep apnea is so bad. So if I lose a bit of weight, hopefully that'll help that out, and then I'll be feeling even better. So yeah, I couldn't be happier with how everything has worked out. It's really shit that I had to go through all that for something that was so simple in the end. It really was so simple. Like, I could have done this years and years ago, but the old butterfly effect, things would be different to what they are now. And I'm really glad that things have gone the way they have, because things have worked out well for me, and I'm going really well, and I'm really enjoying life. I'm still single, and I actually don't plan on ever being not single. I love it. I have no kids. I have a really simple life. I can work whenever I want, and I'm really enjoying life. I've got a couple of really awesome friends that I spend heaps of time with. Well, lately I haven't. Since I started this business, I haven't been spending any time with them, pretty much. But that's all I need in my life. That's why I'm Uncle Wayno, because Uncle Wayno comes around to visit, hang around for a bit. He's good, he's fun, everyone loves him. And then the kids start to get a bit sooky and shitty and annoying, and Uncle Wayno goes home to his empty house. It's brilliant. Oh, all you suckers that had kids, you did it all wrong. You could have just been Uncle or Auntie. The other thing I haven't really talked about is depression. All this stuff comes with depression. When I was younger, I didn't believe in depression. Just thought it was bullshit. Just thought people were being sooks or whatever. But it is a very real thing. It's not something you can control. People that haven't had depression think you can control it. You really genuinely can't. Your brain just thinks in a different way, and you can't stop it. It's really hard to explain, but it's not something you can control at all. I'm on medication for it. I'm still on antidepressants. My depression got really bad over the years, just because I thought I was never going to get out of the situation I was in. That was pretty much it. I hated myself. I hated my life. I was just a miserable bastard. Like, when I was younger, I was fun Wayno, and then gradually over the years, I just became an absolute sook. I hated everything. Sort of person where I'd drop me pen and I'd crack the shits. Like, rather than just pick the bloody thing up. And now I'm the complete opposite. I'm back to how I was when I was younger. I'm a lot happier now. Obviously, because I've got rid of this shit. But yeah, it is one of those things where it's another hidden sort of disease, depression, where some people don't believe it. Like I said, I didn't believe it when I was younger until I went through it. It is a very real thing. If you're one of those people that doesn't believe in depression, it is a very, very real thing. And you do not have control over it. There is not really a lot you can do. You can take medication, you can go and talk to someone. This is a big part of the reason why I'm an open book too, because for me, everybody's different. But for me, just telling people my shit helps. Just get it, you just get it off your chest. And quite often, when you get things off your chest and you actually tell someone, when you say them out loud, sometimes you tend to realize that things aren't as bad as what you think they are. You're dwelling on things over and over because that's all you've got to do is just dwell on things. And if once you start to open up, just tell everyone your shit. I mean, I don't buddy ring me mates up and go, guess what? I've got depression. But if things come up in conversation or whatever, I just blurt them out. And I say it. I don't care if it's someone I trust, which all my friends I do trust. I have a strict no dickhead policy in my life. If you're a dickhead, you are not in my life. And that is another byproduct of dealing with depression. I needed to get rid of some dickheads that were in my life that just were really selfish people, blah, blah, blah. And it's just not worth it. If you've got dickheads in your life, I highly suggest you get rid of them. Especially if you're depressed and all that sort of stuff. If you feel like it's awkward to get rid of dickheads out of your life, don't. They're dickheads. Who cares? Unfriend them on Facebook or whatever. Block their phone number. Who cares? If you bump into them down the street and they say, dude, why'd you unfriend me? Just say, because you're a selfish arsehole and I don't want dickheads in my life. So it's pretty simple. Look after yourself. Why would you worry about what a dickhead thinks? So just look after yourself, cut them out of your life. But yeah, for me, it works to just tell people my shit, which is why I'm making this video as well. I know not everyone is the same way. A lot of people are really personal and they like to keep their sort of personal issues together to themselves. So you might not want to just blurt everything out to everyone like I do, but you can go and speak to someone. You could, if you have a really close friend that you can confide in, you can talk to them, or you can go and seek professional help, and it will really help you. I guarantee it will help you. So if you are struggling with energy levels, things like that a bit, go and talk to your doctor and just talk about getting a sleep test done. You might not be in a terrible condition like I was, but you might have a lesser case of sleep apnea. You can get the test done. It might come back that you don't have it, and that's fine. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It's worth looking into, especially if you're overweight. It's just, when I think back now, how sick I got correlated with how much weight I've put on and then how much weight I lost, blah, blah, blah. So if you're overweight and you struggle with your energy levels a bit, just go and ask your doctor about getting a sleep test done. It's really easy, really simple, it's free, and if it comes back that you're completely clear and you don't have sleep apnea, you haven't lost anything. The other thing I really want to say that I've touched on already, if you have a friend who is depressed, if you have a friend who has any kind of autoimmune disease, where they tell you that they feel like shit all the time, blah, 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 just give them the time of day. I know I had some friends where they just hated it if I ever talked about anything to do with my illness, which was funny because I had to sit and listen to all their bullshit stories about going to work and stuff. But if you do have a friend that's sort of in a similar situation, has a hidden kind of disease, the sort of disease where some people just don't think it's real, just give them the time of day. It can mean so much for that person. And even if they're a good close friend, just go on the internet and have a bit of a read about it. If they told you they've got rheumatoid arthritis, just go and have a bit of a read about it and see how shit it actually really is for them. It's the one thing when you are sick like that is the most frustrating. As shit as you feel, as sore and as painful as it is, the thing that you hate the most is your friends not believing you. It's really strange. I don't really know why anyone would make that shit up anyway. I never had any money. I could never go on holidays. I could never play sports. I used to love playing sport. I used to love walking the dog every day. I couldn't do anything. The one thing I would do is I would go to gigs. I love music. Obviously, if you've seen my videos, I love music, and I love going to gigs. And I would go to gigs, and it would take me sometimes a week to get over it. And when I say get over it, that means to just get back to the situation where I just feel shit. Like it was horrible going through some of that. We would leave a gig, and I'd just be standing there for 2 hours, just listen, watching the music, bloody having a great time. Um, and we would leave the gig and I couldn't walk. Like, I just could not walk. Like, but it was my one thing that I had, and I was willing to put up with, a week of absolute pain to go, to just go and see one of my favourite bands or whatever. But that was the only thing I ever would do. Even it got to a point where I just stopped going because I just couldn't. So yeah, if you've got a close friend or whatever that's sort of gone through anything similar, all these autoimmune diseases, there's so many, and they all have really similar symptoms. They're all very similar diseases. I actually believe I've done a ton of research on this stuff, and I actually believe they all come down to your stomach. The bacteria in your stomach and your intestines and blah blah blah. I'm not going to try and repeat what I've read because I am nowhere near smart enough. But from a layman's point of view, from everything I've read and stuff, I do believe that all of these, well, most or if not all of these autoimmune diseases, they all come down your stomach because they're all very similar and they all have very similar symptoms. But yeah, if you do have a friend who has any of these kind of diseases, please just give them a time of day and go and have a bit of a read yourself. It'll take you 5 minutes. Search rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, chronic fatigue symptoms, and you'll see how shit it really is for that person. And just giving them the time of day to even just talk about it with them for 10 minutes or whatever, it'll probably make their day. It really would. So this is not a woe is me video. Like I do not need any sympathy or whatever. I'm fine now. Like I'm not completely fine, but I'm gonna get there. I just need to lose some weight, which is another reason why I've put this video out. I mentioned in a few videos ago that I was going to start a diet, and I haven't done it yet. I've got a couple of really stressful things going on in my life at the moment. Things usually don't bother me at all, but these things are pretty big. So I just sort of haven't even bothered thinking about the diet. I've just been eating shit house and just pushing through each day. But I do need to do it. I really want to do it. Putting this video out there means that I can talk about it a bit more in my upcoming videos. I may just make a comment here or there or whatever. And I think that'll help me. It'll sort of try to hold me to my word a bit, and I'll have to stick to it. So that's sort of the whole idea there. And hopefully I can drop a few kilos and the mask will stay on my face a bit better at night. And then I'll be feeling even better. So that's it. Bit of a long video, so thanks for sticking with it. All the way through. I'll try and cut it down as much as I can to just keep the important information in. Like I said earlier, I'm not a doctor and I don't know a lot of stuff, but all I know is what I've read. In the end, I didn't really get much doctor help. It was all through my own research. The sugar thing, there is a lot of hard evidence that sugar is the main cause of a lot of diseases. It's all sort of new information over the last 5 to 10 years. So there are a lot of doctors that just don't believe in it. It's just not something they've learnt, basically. Doctors are human, just like the rest of us. So I do recommend doing your own research, but I also do recommend still talking to your doctor. There are quite a few documentaries about sugar that have come out in the last 10 years that are really good. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I will find them. I'll put the links in the description, so if you want to check them out, they will really help you out a lot. There is a documentary about chronic fatigue as well that's pretty confronting. I don't know if it's confronting. It's just, it's a little bit full on. It shows it in its entirety, so I'll link that as well. But yeah, if you have any kind of issues at all, definitely look into it. If you have any questions, I'm on Instagram. Just DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have if you have any issues or whatever. I know how shit it is to go through that stuff, so I'd be really happy to help out. So that's it. Thanks for watching all the way through. I really appreciate it. We'll get back to the reselling videos straight away. My next video, I'm not sure when it'll be, but I will be going to the Oppies to check them out. We've just come out of the lockdown here up in regional Victoria, so I'm hoping everyone's had a bit of a clean out over the week and they've all dumped their stuff at the Oppies on the weekend, and I might be able to pick up some good stuff on Monday. So the reselling videos will be back very shortly. Okay, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers! Oh, it's lunchtime. I'll go and get some Maccas. Might need to get a new watch too.